Gojo believed all sorcerers die alone, but I don't think he did. Anime only fans, time to click away. I know that's probably a controversial opinion, because physically, Gojo absolutely dies alone. Sukuna kills him. There's nobody there to hold his hand, nobody to say goodbye. On the surface, his own philosophy seems completely true, but I don't think that's actually what Gege was trying to say. Throughout the entire series, Gojo feels isolated from everyone around him. Not because people dislike him, quite the opposite. Everybody admires him, everybody relies on him, everybody expects him to solve every problem. But very few people ever really understand him. There's a line in chapter 236 that has always stuck with me. You can admire a blooming flower, but you can't ask it to understand you. I think that sentence tells us almost everything we need to know about Gojo. He's admired, he's respected, he's almost worshipped. But admiration isn't the same as understanding. That feeling of isolation only gets stronger after his awakening. The moment he declares, throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one. Most people hear confidence, almost arrogance. I hear loneliness. Because what comes after becoming the strongest? Nobody can truly understand. Nobody can truly stand beside you anymore. Not as an equal, not as somebody who understands the burden you're carrying. Gojo doesn't just become stronger. He becomes separated from everyone else. And that's something he carries for the rest of his life. Even in the final battle, he chooses to fight Sukuna alone, which is exactly what Gojo has always done. He shoulders everything himself, because somewhere along the way, he convinced himself that was simply what it meant to be the strongest. Now, did I want Gojo to win? Absolutely, but because of the story Gege was trying to tell, I don't think he ever could. Gojo had become too powerful and way too central to every problem. For the story to move forward, something had to change. Then, he dies. Or at least, his body does. And we get one of the most talked about scenes in the entire manga. The airport scene. Now, I don't actually think it matters whether this scene was real. Maybe it was. Maybe it was just the final thoughts of a dying man. For me, that's not the important part. The important part is who was there. Nanami, Haibara, Geto, Riko, Kuroi, Principal Yaga, everyone he loved and everyone who loved him. For the first time in what feels like his entire life, Gojo isn't standing alone. Maybe nobody could ever truly understand the burden he carried, but they were still there for him. And maybe they always were. That's why I never hated this scene. Did I want Gojo to win? Absolutely. Did I want him to die? Not particularly. But I actually loved this ending for his character. Because physically, yes, Gojo dies alone. But for the first time, I don't think he felt alone. Maybe all sorcerers do die alone, but I don't think Gojo did. If you enjoyed this video essay, please drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Any feedback would be appreciated. And of course, a follow on TikTok or a subscribe on YouTube would be absolutely appreciated. Thanks for watching this all the way through, and I'll see you next time.